Well, good morning and welcome to the aforementioned show. Jeff Beals at your service. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. This is the only show in the entire metro area that is devoted to the growth and development of said metro area. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a living real estate legend, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Beals.
Well, good morning to you. It is this is weird. Winter has kind of arrived early. It's been a really nice autumn, and then all of a sudden, the last couple of days, not so much.
I didn't know I needed hat and gloves when I went out to dinner last night in the Funny Bone.
How was the show?
It was good. Chris Porter, who's kind of a regular, has been coming to Omaha for a long time and entertaining.
Did you see that the comedian Gallagher passed away?
No.
Yeah, remember that guy who would smash I remember seeing him live in a live show once. He was great.
And people would have, he'd have sledgehammer, and then people in the first few rows would have ponchos and stuff.
Yeah, you did not. Well, some people maybe liked it, but I never would have wanted to sit in the front row on the one time I saw him perform. But
well, rest in peace,
Gallagher. You've been a funny guy when people are laughing about you when they talk about your passing. So I guess that's sort of a compliment. We had a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review this week. They are brought to you by Cheer Athletics, the nation's top all-star cheer gym with 12 locations nationwide. Omaha location near Highway 50 and Highway 370. This week, Sarah Baker Hansen reviewed Anna's Place.
Can't wait.
After reading that review, I've got to go down there and try it.
Go to the newsletter at growomaha.com, and it's amazing. It's a speakeasy that's Anna's Place, named after, it was Anna Wilson?
Anna Wilson.
The most notorious madam of Omaha's red light district. I think she died around 1911, and very exotic cocktails, and it's in the Hotel Indigo.
Yeah,
Hotel Indigo downtown.
18th and Dodge.
Yep.
And when you go up to the door, it's a nondescript door like a lot of speakeasies are. And if the door is bathed in green light, it means that you can go in after knocking. If it is red, it means you have to come back later because they're at capacity. So we got to try it. And if you haven't
I thought they're just selective if you look cool or not.
Maybe that's the real thing, and they just tell us about. Maybe like if you and I show up, it's always at capacity, as far as we know. But you definitely got to try the place and read the review. If you haven't read it, just go to growomaha.com, and on the navigation bar, you'll see Eats, E-A-T-S. Click on Eats, and you'll be able to read that and all of Sarah Baker Hansen's other reviews as well.
We're getting a lot of great craft cocktail bars. People are talking about Alice and Wicked Rabbit, but there's a bunch more.
I was just at Alice about 3 weeks ago and had a great cocktail there. I've always had a great cocktail whenever I go there. Cool place. Well, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport. But what we do know is that research has indicated, it's proof, it's in black and white, that you will save money on average if you go to a mortgage broker like Eagle Mortgage as opposed to using a regular bank. They can shop around. They've got relationships with a whole bunch of lenders. And of course, at Eagle Mortgage, they take very good care of people, hold your hand through the process, work on getting you that pre-approval letter and answer your questions as you go through the process. Big deal to go get a loan for a home, and Eagle Mortgage knows that, and they'll work with you. Like I said earlier, you can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, Trenton, I drove by the W. Dale Clark, or the remnants of it.
What's left?
Yesterday. Goodness gracious, that thing is coming down fast.
That was not an easy teardown.
No, but they're making quick work of it. As of yesterday morning, there was only one little small section left. So that thing will be gone soon. And of course, the plan has been well documented is to actually start God honest building construction in January. Now, for those people who were around when the last tall building in Omaha was constructed, the First National Tower, and that was built Oh, they started at late 90s, and it took the first couple of years of the 2000s.
Can't believe it's been that long.
If you were there watching it, it probably took, months and months of below ground work before anything started to rise above street
I
level.
just remember the trail of cement trucks filling those.
Oh, the concrete
columns,
mixers?
yeah.
Yeah, because if you remember, they had these huge columns that were like 60 feet in diameter?
Yeah.
Or maybe not, but maybe they went down 60 feet or something, and they were these huge...
It was a couple of days at least of just pouring concrete.
To pour just one, yeah. And then they poured a big square cube of concrete on top of all of those, which was a continuous pour. And but anyway, so once the construction starts, don't expect to see the tower crane too soon, because it's going to be months and months of below ground work that's necessary for a 678 foot building.
And the distribution to the libraries, the administration, archives, and genealogy is already open. They're doing their business at Frederick Square, the old Shopco at 84th and Frederick. I was involved in that. So
that's a full go now. It's already operational.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's only a small part of it that's open to the public. I think the genealogy and stuff like that, but most of it's for the distribution to the different libraries around Omaha.
And we think some of that function might go to the new Central Library at 72nd and Dodge in a few years when that opens.
Yeah, I think it'll be at least 4 or 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like you said, most of the 87th and Frederick stuff is backstage, behind the scenes sort of work for the libraries. And then, of course, the interim downtown branch is functioning as well, right across from the police headquarters. The permanent downtown branch at 14th and Jones, construction's coming along nicely. I checked it out this week on my Grow Omaha tour, and it seems to be on target for that March delivery date. Well, let's talk about parks. Everyone loves parks, especially on beautiful days like today. But the city of Omaha plans to use $10 million of its $112 million of American Rescue Plan Act funds to improve parks and public spaces. City Council approved the first one, which is Clarkson Park in Midtown, 42nd and Dodge. But plans also call for improvements at Mandan Park in South O, Fontanelle Park in North O, Pipple Park. You know what I always think of?
Love Pipple Park.
Pipple Park?
The tornado sculpture?
Exactly.
The blue?
Yeah. If you look carefully, when you drive by Pipple Park, what is about 78th and Center around there? There's this
Abstract
statue that's made out of steel beams that were bent and twisted in the 1975 tornado. I look at it every time I drive by Pipple Park.
My siblings and I used to go there with a babysitter. It was fun.
And run around the statue?
I guess. Ring around the statue.
The Paxton John Creighton Boulevard Trail, Hitchcock Park Swimming Pool, Elmwood Park Swimming Pool, Kuntz Park at 35th and Florence Boulevard, Plaza de la Raza at 24th and Inn, Martin Luther King Jr. Park at 24th and Lake, and Dreamland Park at 24th and Lizzie Robinson Avenue. So some cool stuff happening
well
right
spent.
there.
Some of these parks really needed some some new work. Definitely.
Well, the downtown continues to attract more varied restaurant and entertainment businesses. You know, it was not too many weeks ago when Texas de Brazil opened a very large restaurant spot.
Have you been there yet?
I've not tried it. Yeah, I want to. I've just been too busy.
By the sign, yeah.
I've been too busy. And that's a place where you have to plan for it. You have to show up hungry as hell. Because if they're bringing out like skewers of carcass, you've got to come up hungry before you go to that. You can't just be like spur of the moment. Oh, I think we could do like a Brazilian steakhouse dinner.
Absolutely.
You have to prepare. I haven't had the time to do it yet, but we should go together sometime.
Love it.
So right next to Texas de Brazil, they have started build out for Let It Fly, which is going to be a super sports bar. Well, now we found out just catty corner to the southeast of Let It Fly is the Capitol Place apartment, 6-story mixed-use building. And there's going to be an indoor miniature golf course and lounge.
Bigger than I thought it was going to be.
14,500 square feet. And it'll be right there on the southeast corner of 10th and Capitol.
I don't think they've named it yet, but it's the guy has 5 different ones. I think one in Lincoln, and there's Prehistoric Putt or something like that.
Oh, is it the same company as those?
Oh, yeah. And it was going to be, I think he named it Jurassic Putt, and apparently some film companies were not happy with him.
Had a little bit of discomfort about that
Putt.
name.
And have you taken your kids to any of that?
Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah, I think one of them had a birthday party or
We'll see
like
what this
that.
one. This one, I imagine, since downtown might be more of an adult theme, at least at
Well,
night.
they said it'll have a lounge.
Yeah, that'll
good.
definitely be geared towards adults, I hope.
Well, and the more you visit the lounge, the better your putt-putt game gets. The Gene Leahy Mall's LED video wall under the 10th Street Bridge has reopened. Did you ever see it during 4th of July opening weekend? Did you? I went down and saw that.
I drove around and I had commitments, but it was amazing.
You didn't want to get out of the car, did you?
Nope.
Okay. So I was actually down there in the Gene Leahy Mall for the fireworks show. There was some musical performances. Well, they put this LED screen that wraps around the bottom, the vertical bottom part. What is it? The abutment or whatever that holds up
under the bridge.
A bridge, yeah. Awesome, cool. I mean, LED screens are very
And then
vivid.
when I went down there, it wasn't working.
By the time you went down there, they had covered it with plywood. And the concern was that, well, in a city, when you've got a lot of people, if you have something like an LED screen there, what are some people going to do? Smash it. And so they had to get a protective plexi coat covering.
Unfortunate, but it'll
Reality.
last longer.
Took a while. That's done. So now they have this cool autumn display down there. And if you haven't seen that, it really is a head turner to have like that lit up artistic video wall underneath a bridge. And of course, there's a plaza down there, and it's very, very busy. Probably not today, but during nice weather, it's a great scene, a great urban scene. So that's up and running again, which is kind of nice. Okay, Trenton, work is progressing on the Cosgrove, a 173-unit apartment project with underground parking located on the northwest corner of 38th and Leavenworth Street. 5-story building, fully enclosed. Opening is planned for late this winter. One of many mixed-use / residential projects going in around the Blackstone Medical Center area for obvious reasons. If you want to see some cool photographs of this, though, Brad Williams has posted a couple of them on the Grow Omaha Facebook. Very neat aerial photographs. He also has some aerial photographs taken recently.
Right. Helicopter trip.
Of the Mercantile District downtown and a few other downtown projects. So those are all on the Grow Omaha Facebook page.
Perfect.
And that's your news of the week. And it is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. When we come back, we are going to highlight a very cool business in Omaha called Cheer Athletics. Co-owner Craig Wolf will be with us, as well as Ladarius Marshall, who is an all-star cheer celebrity known nationwide, affiliated with Cheer Athletics, and also Christa Gilson from the Omaha Cheer Athletics location. We're going to find out about this industry and about this business, and I guarantee if you're not familiar with it, a lot of it will surprise you. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting in the KFAB penthouse studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. Show's brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. If you own a commercial building and you're worried about the roof, stop worrying and just call D&M Roofing and Siding. They have a preventative maintenance program which is second to none, and it causes a lot of building owners and property managers to sleep better at night. And you can find them at dndmroofing.com. Well, we're going to talk about Cheer Athletics today in our business spotlight, and we have with us Craig Wolf, who is the co-owner of the Omaha location. We also have with Craig, that we'll bring on in a moment, Ladarius Marshall, who has become an all-star cheer celebrity known around the country, and also Christa Gilson, who is the director of development for the Omaha Cheer Athletics location. But first of all, Craig, welcome back to the show. Some people might remember you when you co-hosted a few weeks ago.
I did. It was on October 1st, and that was just a great time. As I told the audience at that time, Trenton, big shoes to fill that day.
Absolutely.
And you know what they say about people with big shoes?
Exactly.
Big socks.
Big hands. Oh, thank you.
Huge socks. I know, Trenton, your job was a little bit in jeopardy. He did a hell of a job.
I got a lot of positive feedback on that.
I keep looking for your routines, your cheer routines, Craig Wolf cheer routines, and I haven't been able to find them, which is a good thing.
He's top of the pyramid.
Yeah, I stay back from that. I let Ladarius, Christa, and the rest of our coaches and athletes handle all that. I'm a good supporter.
Well, give us an overview of Cheer Athletics.
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, thanks for having us out. My wife and I, Tiffany, had been in all-star cheer for 10 years. Our daughter started at 3 years old, so you can start as your athlete as early as 3. And where we were at that time was a fine place, but we just felt like, when you have athletes, these youth that are in our gym year-round, starting in May through April, they come to us for cheer, that we could just do it at a higher level. I'm very passionate about Omaha. I'm born, raised, and let me step back for a second, because people might say, well, why the heck is a cheer show on Grow Omaha? Well, Cheer Athletics is the #1 cheer brand in the entire country. Cheer Athletics has won more national championships than any other cheer gym out there. There are 12 locations around the country, Plano, Texas being the headquarters. And for us to have the resources and support of those other locations, coaches flying in all the time that will help us get better. We share information. The culture of Cheer Athletics is the motto is we rise by lifting others. It's very positive, and we're just blessed to be a part of this. So to be able to bring Cheer Athletics to Omaha, being an Omaha guy, and give these all-star cheer athletes an opportunity to be a part of Cheer Athletics was pretty exciting for us. From my standpoint, I'm a business guy, and I want these athletes as part of Cheer Athletics to be well-rounded. So not only have all-star cheer skills, which is Christa's role and our coach's role to help develop them, but also we teach nutrition. What you put in your bodies is very important, especially as athletes. And fast food is prevalent today. So just the education of good nutrition. Leadership skills. When they're out on the mat, it doesn't always go well. Anybody can be a good leader when times are good. And when it's really those opportunities when the tough times, maybe we don't do so well, that the athletes are down on themselves, where we can teach them great leadership skills. We brought in the Kim Foundation to talk about behavioral and emotional health. When you're on the mat, there's high anxiety, but also the social pressures of social media, school. A lot of our athletes are involved in so many different things, just taking them care of themselves from a mental standpoint, mind, body, and soul. And so there's so much more to Cheer Athletics Omaha than just all-star cheer, and then we're really proud of that aspect of it.
Craig, why don't you introduce the guests that you brought with you?
Yeah, I would love to. Ladarius Marshall is in town this weekend, came into Omaha. Tomorrow, at our Cheer Athletic location, we have our showcase. We call it Blue Debut. Cheer Athletics is royal blue, and so this allows our athletes to debut their routines that they've been working on since May. They put a lot of heart and soul into this, so we want to open this up to the public. Come out to our facility. Come see Cheer Athletics and come watch these athletes. They have been pouring their heart and soul into their routines. We brought in Ladarius Marshall to be able to help be the master of ceremonies for this. We're going to have food trucks. It's a celebration of All-Star Cheer. So please come out. It's free. It's open to the public. The show is from 1 to 4. You don't even have to stay the whole 3 hours. We know on Sundays especially family time is precious, but we'd love to have you come out and just check us out.
And where is it?
It's 146th and Gold Coast Road, Highway 50, 370, basically across from the National Cemetery on the south side by across from Google, up that direction. If you put it in your GPS, you'll find it. And there's going to be we have tents with apparel. I mean, we put a lot of work into it this week to really appreciate our athletes. It's all about them, always will be, and we're excited to see what their routines tomorrow. Also with me is Christa Gilson, our Director of Development. Amazing person. We're so blessed to have her as part of our organization. She's our leader on the mat, and I'll let them take over from here because, as you can tell, I kind of have the Luther Vandross voice this morning, a little under the weather, but it's perfect for what's going on outside. So Christa, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, guys. Thank you for having us.
You bet, Christa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So how long have you been working in All-Star Cheer?
On and off since I was 14 years old.
Okay, so tell us about your role in the business.
My job is to make sure that we're developing the program, the coaches, but most importantly, the athletes as a whole. As Craig mentioned, our number one goal is to make sure that we are building exceptional athletes, but also exceptional humans. So we have highly experienced staff, and we continue to educate them. As he mentioned, we're addressing nutritional health, we're addressing mental health, and then we have monthly themes where we talk about characteristics of what it takes to be an exceptional athlete and a human. And then we put those principles into our practice, and we ask the kids to do that outside of practice. So my goal is to carry out Tiffany and Craig's dream for cheer athletics, which is to make sure that every person that comes to our program leaves better than they came, regardless of the amount of time they spent with us. So.
Well, we appreciate you giving us that information, Christa. And before we bring on Ladarius, we are going to do our middle of the show break. So consider this a broadcast tease. You got to stick with us in order to hear from Ladarius. We are going to break for the news right now. And then when we come back, we'll have our commercial real estate development spotlight. We'll talk with Ladarius Marshall, and we've got other things on the docket as well. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals sitting next to Trenton Magid, and we are brought to you by D&M Roofing and Siding and also Dingman's Collision Center. 4 metro area locations for Dingman's. So it doesn't matter where you are in town. If you need to have your car worked on, just go to the nearest Dingman's. And they also provide mechanical work in their Northwest Omaha location as well. It's time for our commercial real estate development spotlight, brought to you by Noddle Companies, noddlecompanies.com. They are one of the premier commercial real estate development firms in the Midwest. They have projects in multiple states, but here in Omaha, we are really excited about lots of their projects. They're doing a big mixed-use project at 180th and Dodge.
That's to be the best.
That one hasn't really started yet, but when you look at the plans for that thing, to me, it looks like it's going to be another Exarban Village.
It's really almost an infill by this point.
It's interesting that you say that, because there is so much growth around that area that 180th and Dodge is an infill. But okay, so if you want to picture where this is, it's on the southwest corner of the intersection. There's already a couple office buildings. Lindsay is there, Sojourn is there, and then there's a retail building where First Watch and Meatball, one of the all-time greatest restaurant names ever. And in that big open space right in there, that's where this mixed-use development's going to go. And they're looking at real nice retailers, apartments, and all that sort of thing. Of course, Noddle Companies also has Exarban Village, River's Edge and Council Bluffs, Steel Ridge in Gretna, which is just on fire right now, and the Village Point Medical Center as well. And if you want to learn more about Noddle Companies, all you have to do is go to the website, which is aptly named noddlecompanies.com. Well, we're highlighting cheer athletics today on the Grow Omaha show. And in the last segment, we heard from Craig Wolf, who co-owns the Omaha location with his wife, Tiffany. There's 12 locations nationwide. And we also talked with Christa Gilson. And now we're going to bring on Ladarius Marshall. Ladarius is well known in the all-star cheer circles, has been featured on some television shows, and is in Omaha for the next few days. So Ladarius, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Well, good. Tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started in all-star cheer.
Well, I would say it was around 15 years ago. My sister, when I was adopted by my grandmother, my sister, she was a really, really good cheerleader, and she was just always pushing us boys, because it's 4 boys, and she was always pushing us to get outside of our comfort zone and stuff like that, because we all played football and track and stuff like that. So when it came to her teaching us all how to tumble, it was we were taught it's backflips. So I was oh, this is a different sport. It's different from going to football practice and dealing with all these spiders on the ground and dealing with all of these this heat and all these bugs. You just go out there and you get to flip inside air conditioning on this little padded floor. So I was okay, so let me try something different and do something new, because I was stepping outside of my comfort zone.
What age was that?
I was about, I want to say 11. I think I was in the 6th grade. I was about the 6th grade, yes. So it was when I was 11. So around like 13 is when I started to actually like tumble a lot and get into the gym a lot more. But it was through my older sister and my auntie, because my auntie pushed my older sister and my older sister pushed me. And when my older sister got done and graduated, she told me, hey, I'm done with this. Like, I want you to go be something one day. And that's when I completely quit every other sport and I just focused on cheerleading. And that was around when I was 15. So I did a couple years before I got into like all the let's get ready to go in front of the people and cheer and tumble in front of everyone else, like at pep rallies. So it was like, it was a big step for me. I can say that. I can say it was a big step, but it was definitely a time to be alive.
And that was when you were growing up in Florida, right?
Yes, I was in Florida.
And you ended up going to college in Utah, of all places, Weber State. And tell us why you decided to go to college in Utah.
Because in Utah, it's got all the mountains and the snow, and I've never really seen snow like that. So it's like, I'm living my best life. I'm like in the Hallmark movies right now. So like, don't worry about me. I'm out there with the red nose. And, okay, let's go. And so when it comes to Weber is like one of the best all like co-eding teams. It's like they give you like the difficulty and they give you like collegiate look. So then that's one of the things that I've been chasing for a long time is someone who's going to push the envelope with me, but that allows me to kind of be myself in a sense. Like I get to perform and I get to show off my strength as a male stunner.
Tell us about your stardom. You've been on a series?
Yes, I was on Cheer for the last 2 seasons, and it was fun. I had a lot.
It's on Netflix?
Yes, it's on Netflix. I was at Navarro College. I did 2 years there.
Very cool. And so what was the show like, and what did people get out of it when they watched it?
It was a documentary, and it was showing how hard that we work as athletes, and like all of us cheerleaders who come from different backgrounds. It like highlighted all of the athletes who come from places like being in Section 8 housing or not having the money to be able to do the things that other kids can do and receive the things that they receive. And it like highlighted that and showed that we all can still get to the same place and work our butt off just like I did. Like it showed a lot of like hard work being put into your life.
You appreciate what you've accomplished.
Yes, sir. I've worked very, very hard for everything that I've gotten.
Ladarius, so as you were getting started in this, though, you were part of cheer athletics growing up, and not the Omaha location in Florida. So tell us a little bit about your time at cheer athletics.
My time at cheer athletics is, I want to say that was one of my best like building blocks of cheerleading, because where I came from, I was like one of the best. You like when you're one of the best, you don't really worry about a lot of things. You just go in there and you come out because you know you can do everything. But cheer athletics pushed the envelope for me to the point where even I felt like I was not good enough at one point, and it really took a toll on me because it's very tough. Like they are the standard of cheerleading. We are the leading like championships in Worlds, Summit, and NCAA titles all around. So every cheer competition, they are the leading like role models in those divisions and everywhere. So for me, I was like, dang, this place is like, this is like a tough place. Like these coaches did not play any games that you could get replaced very quickly. It was not really like let's have a talk about it. It was like either you're going to do what you need to do and do your job correctly, or you're going to get replaced. So it kind of set the tone for myself with like, this is what I want. This is what I need. I've worked so hard. So why not let your talent speak for itself? Because that's what it looks like. They're gonna say, show me these skills, and you're gonna provide these skills. And if you don't, then you get replaced.
So, Ladarius, before I bring on Craig for one last thing, I want to ask you one more question before we let you go. What's next for you? Where do you take this? Where do you take this? Do you go into coaching? Do you go into continue several years of competition? What are your plans?
My plans are to coach. I actually coach in Idaho right now, and I love my job. I love being able to be the coach that I've always needed growing up, especially with all the resources, like how Cheer Athletics has given us so many resources, how I've met so many amazing people like Christa and Craig and Tiffany. Like, it gives you such an outlook on life. Like, we could all build a better community together. And I want to be one of those coaches that grow from being an athlete to being one of the coaches that the kids can look back on and say, that coach loved me. He cared about me and he understood my struggle, but he did not allow me to give up, or he did not allow me to just sit on my butt and not do anything.
Well, Darius, I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And I want to bring Craig on for one more minute before we wrap up. Because, Craig, I know a lot of people are interested in having their kids or grandkids get involved. How does it work? Are there scholarships? What do we need to know?
Well, first of all, if we just love people to come out. If you have an interest, your athlete has an interest in All-Star Cheer, come out to Cheer Athletics. Again, Highway 50 and 370. You can go to cheerathletics.com/Omaha, check out our website, register on there, email us, call us. We pride ourselves on being very responsive to any and all questions. The place we develop at Cheer Athletics Omaha is safe, fun, and a learning environment. And we welcome all. And there's opportunities after cheer. You've seen what Ladarius, the opportunities All-Star Cheer has done for him. I think one of the important things about All-Star Cheer, too, that people probably don't realize is that it is now a sanctioned Olympic event starting in 2028. So I know I was talking to Ladarius last night, and that's one of his goals is to make Team USA.
Wow.
And so that'll be, putting him in the red, white, and blue would be super cool.
We'll be cheering for him when that happens. So Craig Wolf, Ladarius Marshall, Christa Gilson, thanks all of you for joining us, and continued success with Cheer Athletics.
Thanks, all.
Thanks so much again for having us, Jeff and Trenton. Appreciate that.
Our pleasure. We're going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, it'll be the Turner Construction Lightning Round. And when I look at the list, I see 3 big restaurant stories and a couple other things. We're going to drop some breaking news on you guys when we come back, so don't miss any of this. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And it's the Turner Construction Lightning Round here on Grow Omaha. Turner Construction is building for Omaha's future. Turner is the contractor behind the massive Sarpy County data center, 11 buildings and counting. And if you look at the amount of land that is being graded next to it, we think there are probably going to be more than just 9 buildings on that Sarpy County data center campus. And they do a lot, smaller projects too. In fact, we were just driving by West Center Road and a couple weeks ago, and I noticed Chase Bank branch is going up and around, what would you say, 177th, 176th and Center, somewhere there by the Bakers.
Multiple Chase Banks going up.
Yeah, and so that'll be going in that area, kind of by that Bakers there. And so if you are a person who works in construction or the trades, definitely keep your eye on Turner. They treat their employees like absolute gold. People love working there. And then if you are looking for the services of a contractor that has deep resources but high-touch, local-style customer service, look no further than Turner Construction. All right. Well, let's go. And we have several restaurant stories to tell today.
Breaking news.
Yeah, first. Yeah, so we'll go for the first one comes courtesy of our friend John Lund, who is owner of One Pacific Place. 801 Grill left that space a while back, but it's a nice corner bay. And right now, interior construction's ongoing. A lease has been signed to bring Ollie and Hobbs into One Pacific Place. They are currently located in Papillion. They also have a location in Lincoln as well. The ownership also has Charburger in Sterling Ridge.
That's a good restaurant.
Yeah, Ollie and Hobbs will be a nice addition to that One Pacific Place Regency Parkway corridor, if you will.
Yeah, solid demographics. He also told us just now that the winery is actually coming back to Clock Tower.
I tell you, a lot of people
around the West Roads Ring Road.
A lot of people will be excited about that because that place was always really popular and they hated to see it go. So that's a nice piece of news as well. And then we have more breaking restaurant news. A new restaurant is going to be replacing Rivera's. Rivera's was the very popular Mexican place at 12051 Blondo Street in the Blondo 120 Plaza. It's going to be called Goose 120. Goose as in like duck goose, duck goose.
Yeah.
Goose 120. It's going to be a new Italian restaurant. Has the same ownership as Taxis, Stoke and Goat. So that should be opening, we think, in the next couple of months on the southwest corner of 120th and Blondo. But let's not stop there. We have more restaurant news. news. For those of you that live in far southwest Omaha, you may recall that the Chinese restaurant Beijing Gate closed. It is on the southwest corner of 168th and Harrison Street. The exact address would be 16919 Audrey. That is going to be another location of De Leon's.
Mexican?
Yeah, quick serve taco place. In fact, apparently the official name is De Leon's Taco Rico. Everyone just calls it De Leon's, though, don't they? They have multiple locations around town, and they're one of those places where you can get the reasonably priced late night,
Absolutely,
early morning tacos that you're looking for. So that's good. Now, in that same shopping center, just a little bit to the west, Rebel Monkey Pizza has closed. It wasn't there very long, only about a year. Pretty good product, so unfortunately, you hate to see that go. Also, kind of related to restaurants, who doesn't love donuts?
too much.
Okay, we have a donut report coming up. You remember the former Spud Nuts Donuts?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, this was at 920 North 204th Avenue. In English, that's 204th and Cumberland in the Elkhorn
Next
area.
to Domino's.
Yeah, it's going to be replaced by another donut shop. This one's going to be called Sugared Ledge Bakery. Sugared Ledge Bakery. They will have donuts, cakes, and coffee. And I think that'll be a nice addition. Now, Spud Nuts, it was kind of a shame that didn't work. That place...
Potato flour?
Yeah, potato donuts. They are up in the Okoboji, Iowa area where the lakes are up there. Wildly popular. And for some reason, it just didn't take off on that location there. But when you go up to Lake Okoboji area, people always talk about Spud Nuts. Got to go to Spud Nuts. And it's a good product. But I'm sure this Sugared Ledge Bakery will also be a very good product as well. So the Chipotle at 132nd and West Center Road is going through some renovation. The company is adding a Chipotle lane.
Yep.
These Chipotle lanes are very, very popular. So basically, America has now decided that it is unwilling to get out of its automobiles. And so every restaurant now has to have a drive-through.
Absolutely.
And as a guy who occasionally uses drive-throughs but would rather go in, I'm just going to come out and say it. Unless it's raining or I got a newborn baby in a car seat in the back seat, I hate drive-throughs.
Can we get rid of the...
I hate drive-throughs.
Can we get rid of the deliver to your car lanes from COVID?
Oh my God!
All
yeah.
those spots.
Yeah, you go to a quick serve restaurant. You're like, oh, there's 5 spots up by the door. One is for like the 2 of them are for like the call ahead orders. One is for like DoorDash people. One is for pregnant mothers. One is for all. I'm like, there's nowhere to park. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, car delivery or whatever.
Oh yeah, they bring it out to your car, your call ahead. Now, one thing that drives me nuts though, because I like a good Chipotle lunch. But you ever notice, like, you go to the ones that have the Chipotle lanes attached, and you're like, sweet, I'm next. And then all of a sudden, like, 6 drive-through orders come in before they fill up your burrito bowl.
Yeah, they got to work on that.
They got to work on that. Panera does too. All right, a former bank building at Westwood Plaza that was for years a commercial federal and then a Bank of the West now has a very, very different tenant. Grateful Green Hemp and THC dispensary. So
I love how everybody acts like it's legal here. And it's not the same stuff you get in Colorado or whatever, but they call them dispensaries and we're posers, I guess.
So good on Westwood Plaza for landing that prestigious tenant there. And then finally, Sherwin-Williams will hold a ribbon cutting November 16th for a new store at 51st and L. It'll be the company's first fully staffed Spanish language store. And the music is playing, so we're done. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Turner Construction, Dingman's Collision Center, and D&M Roofing and Siding. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.